What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome into a Thursday edition, 9 a.m. of the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz right here on FanStream Sports. It's IndyCarTim. It's a Thursday. And for some weird reason, the Cowboys offense the Cowboys offseason is making sense this year. What? I know I've said it a couple of times on this show and on other shows that there's a different feel to this offseason. It's an offseason that the moves have made sense. The draft made sense. You get a little bit lucky with the Caleb Downs situation, but you jump on it. The rest of the picks I thought made sense. And there's just an odd, easy, sort of soothing feeling to this offseason that we'd never had or haven't had in a long, long time. And that includes the signing of Von Miller. To me, it's a signing that makes absolute sense. There's not one negative thing about the signing, about the player that I've seen so far. You know, the signing of Von Miller wasn't really about Von Miller. His signing sort of tells us, I think, a little bit about what the Cowboys are trying to do with this roster in 2026. And for once, Jerry Jones might actually be shopping around with a plan. Because when the Cowboys signed the 37-year-old Von Miller, and everybody's rolling their eyes, not everybody, but you detractors are out there rolling your eyes. You know, you're saying we've seen this before. Dallas just grabs a recognizable veteran name late in his career. Everybody gets excited for a couple of days, and then the Cowboys act like they've solved a problem they probably should have addressed months earlier. Right? We've seen the names before. Dalvin Cook, Jason Peters, T.Y. Hilton, the second coming of Ezekiel Elliott. Look, those moves weren't necessarily horrible, but it feels like too often the Cowboys look toward a name, an aging veteran, to become an answer to an issue. And to me, that's why the Von Miller thing feels different. Because the Cowboys don't need Von Miller to save this defense. They don't need him playing 55 to 60 snaps a game. We've talked about this. They don't need him pretending that he's the Von Miller from Denver or the Von Miller even in L.A. that helped the Rams win a Super Bowl. They just need him to do one thing: get to the quarterback. Use him as a designated pass rusher. Put him on the field in obvious passing situations. Let Christian Parker build packages that maximize what Von can still do instead of exposing what he can't do anymore. And for me, that is smart roster construction. Von Miller doesn't have to be the answer. He can simply be an answer. And that difference, I think, matters massively. But the part that should get all of you guys, all Cowboys fans, interested here is that when Jerry said Dallas might not be done. And after the Von Miller signing, Jerry was asked specifically if he would still consider moving draft capital if a significant trade opportunity became available. Jerry didn't blink. He didn't dance around it. He said yes. In fact, Jerry said he's more positive about this Cowboys team now than he was when training camp started. And his exact message to us was basically this: if Dallas gets an opportunity to take a little from the future and put it into this football team right now, he'd do it if he thinks it makes the Cowboys better. And to me, that's different. Because the old Cowboys formula would have been sign Von Miller, hold the press conference, sell some jerseys, declare a victory, go home. But if the Cowboys are genuinely still looking for another impact player, still looking to genuinely improve the roster, offense or defense, then I think the Von Miller signing becomes part of something even bigger. He becomes depth. He becomes experience. He becomes a substantial weapon. And Dallas can continue stacking weaknesses on the roster instead of pretending one signing fixed everything. And I know that some of you are saying, Tim, we've heard Jerry Jones talk before. And you know what? You're right. Jerry has won more offseason press conferences than anybody in NFL history. So nobody should start planning the Super Bowl parade down Greenville Avenue right now just because Jerry says he's willing to make a trade. Talk is cheap. The next move is what matters. But I will give the Cowboys credit. Their behavior has backed up the idea that they are operating differently this year. They've shown more urgency. They've shown more willingness to add pieces. And most importantly, they don't appear to be building the roster around the hope that one veteran signing somehow fixes everything. And for this team, for this front office, that's progress. And, you know, if Jerry really means what he says about making a substantive move, a trade, then things could get extremely interesting before week one, because now we have the conversation changing from can Von Miller still play to who's next. Could Dallas be looking for another defensive difference maker? Probably. Could it add help at a position where Christian Parker still sees that he needs another piece? Probably. Could Jerry actually make the kind of aggressive trade Cowboys fans have been begging for? That's the story now. Not that the Cowboys signed an aging veteran as a name to sell jerseys and declare an offseason win. That's not what's happening. That's what would have happened in previous years. That's not what's happening now. It is a very different approach. It is a refreshing approach. And I'll be very honest, I don't think this is Jerry just getting senile in his own age and forgetting how he used to operate. I think Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker have a huge effect on what is happening right now in that front office. I really do, especially in the draft. I think Brian Schottenheimer showed a lot of us last year that he kind of knows what he's doing as he's settling in now to his second year. I think he proved to Jerry that he might know what he's doing. And I think Jerry came in with Christian Parker with some expectations, and Parker said, let me cook. I'll tell you what I need. I need you to go get what I need. And Jerry said, got more to tell you. Let's do it. For those of you that are offended by my Jerry impression, I'm sorry. It's the best I can do. Von Miller does not have to turn back the clock here. He doesn't have to become Charles Haley 2.0, Fish. He doesn't have to carry the Cowboys defense. He just has to contribute. And if Jerry Jones is really still shopping, then Miller coming to Dallas might not be eventually remembered as Dallas's biggest move here this year. But rather as the move that came before the big move. We'll see. We don't know. And that's why, to me, for the first time in a long time, things feel a little different at the Star. Things feel a little different in training camp. Things feel a little different about this team this offseason. Will it translate to the regular season? I have no idea. But for now, let's just enjoy the fact that things seem to be progressing nicely at the Star out in Oxnard with this Cowboys team. Because, again, for me, it's refreshing. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment in the comment section if you're watching on one of our YouTube channels. If you're listening to the recorded podcast, find me on social media at IndyCarTim, on X, Facebook, on Instagram. I rarely check it, but I'll eventually go see it, I promise. Or you can reach out to us on our studio text line. It's open 24/7, 214-937-0569. Just tell us who you are, where you're texting from, and what your question or comment is, and we would be happy to engage with you that way. That's the easiest way. And yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us everywhere you get your Cowboys coverage. Cowboys Nation, keep your phone close, because if Jerry is telling the truth, Dallas might not be done yet. And let me say, boy, howdy, that's refreshing. We'll do it all again tomorrow. By the way, Friday's episode, 7 a.m. Back to 7 a.m. tomorrow. Not sure about next week yet. I will let you know on social media. Make sure you look for me there, or just look for when the stream is scheduled on wherever you're watching. It'll tell you if it's 7 or 9. I don't want you to have to get up early if you don't have to get up early, though. But until tomorrow, boys and girls, we'll see you.